Talking to the moon. Alright, I can't even sing. But either way, flower full moon in Scorpio, it is all about the depth, right? It is all about truth. It is all about transformation. It is all about power, evolution, and motion. It is a flower full moon, right? So let's tap in, turn on, and tune in. Take a deep breath with me. Because this is not just an ordinary full moon. I always say that, but I know this is a flower full moon, a moment of bloom, but not the soft kind either, right? Because it is in Scorpio, right? So this is the kind of blooming that happens after something has been broken open, okay? So this full moon, it's illuminating, right? All full moons are illuminating, right? They reveal, they bring things up to the surface that we can no longer ignore, right? If we were ignoring, right? It's like an open door. And this one, this Scorpio full moon is a cosmic spotlight, right? Especially on truth, not surface truth. Deep truth, right? The kind that you feel in your body before you can even explain it, right? That's Scorpio's depth, right? Scorpio is deep like the sea, right? So Scorpio does not play on the surface. Scorpio goes into things, right? Into emotion, shadow, desire, fear, attachment, control, intimacy, power, right? So if something feels intense right now, it's because it is, right? It's not random either. It is the Scorpio. It is Scorpio, right? Doing what Scorpio does, right? And what does Scorpio do? It stings, right? Pulling everything hidden into felt light, right? And that's just shining bright, right? So this is the paradox. This is called the flower full moon, which is like a symbol of blooming, growing, fertility, new life. But you have to understand this, right? Nothing blooms without first breaking through something. So this is not just about beauty. This is about waking up like that. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, this is about transformation that creates beauty, right? Like me later once I shower and get ready, right? Yeah. So, and with every full moon, the new moon, right? Because we have a new moon in Taurus, right? And every new moon's full moon is its polar opposite, right? So the moon is in Scorpio and the sun is in Taurus. So now we have tension, right? Taurus wants to comfort, right? It's all about stability, security, and what feels good, right? But Scorpio wants truth, even if it disrupts everything. So you could be pulled in between things, right? Holding on, letting go, right? Staying safe, or stepping into your transformation, right? But let's remember this. If you go and watch my other videos, right? Aries stellium is still active, right? So let's dive deeper into that, because this is not happening alone. It's in, right? This is like a big choreography happening within us, right? As within exudes on out, that's what it's really all about. And so we're still under this influence of that Aries fire, right? Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Neptune, Chiron, Eris, E-R-I-S, right? These are all still activating. So, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch my other video, okay? So what does that mean for us, right? Emotions can rise, especially when Scorpio is involved, right? And Aries says, act on it, right? But this is the challenge. This is the challenge. Are you reacting, or are you responding with consciousness and awareness, right? Because this is all about our psychological experience. And so things can look like, right? Like you could be having sudden emotional triggers, be moody as can be, right? Moody like the moon, right? But, and you might be also having like certain realizations about like relationships and stuff like that, or where you are in the line or the alignment of things, right? And you might be having this sense of urgency or feeling that you need to speak your truth, right? But you might be experiencing some level of conflict, uncomfortableness, right? Conflict between what you feel and what you do, right? And I think about that too, right? In the sense of your own becoming of that which you are, right? I'm gonna try not to get too poetic so far, right? So I want you to stay here with me, right? And your sense of becoming in this new space, right? It can feel uncomfortable because this new becoming is new to you, right? So that conflict too of being comfortable in the space that you have created that's new for you now, right? So this intensity and communication can lead to impulsivity too, right? So you can feel like, why am I also reacting like this, right? If you're triggered by something, right? Or why am I not reacting to this, right? Because something deeper is being activated, right? Because we got the Chiron and Eris, E-R-I-S, right? Chiron is the wound. Eris, E-R-I-S, is disruption. And together they're saying you cannot heal what you refuse to face, right? So this full moon may bring up certain kind of old wounds, abandonment, rejection, all those kind of things, not feeling seen, not feeling valued or validated, but we don't want to stay there either, right? We just want to acknowledge that, right? Acknowledge that it's not here to break you, it's here to show you where your healing is not ready, right? Not to keep singing the same old song, or not to stay stuck in a web of old feelings too, you know what I'm saying? So with that, right, we have the black moon Lilith, right? And so with the black moon Lilith, right, this is where it gets really powerful too, right? Because Lilith, right, represents the untamed self, right? The part of you that refuses to be controlled, silenced, or diminished, right? And with Lilith active, there's this rising, right, of energy of, you know what, I'm no longer tolerating what I once did, right? I'm no longer shrinking myself. And I think that's a really big one for, like, when I think about it from the scope of the type of things that I do too on, like, in the expression platforms and things like that, like all the artists that I vibe with and things like that express themselves in different outlets in different ways, right? You're no longer shrinking yourself in any kind of way. And this goes with talent, right? No longer shrinking your talents to be digestible for others as well, right? You're no longer staying where you also feel disrespected in your own energy, feel like, you know, in the sense of proving yourself to in spaces of that want to not agree with you to begin with, right? So it's all about like this liberation type of energy, right? It's raw. It's unfiltered. It's very truthful, right? If there's anybody that you're ever gonna keep it real with, you gotta keep it real with yourself, right? First and foremost, up there and personal. It's personal, right? And so with the Juno activation, Juno, right, which brings a certain level of focus, right? This brings a certain level of focus to our relationships, right? Especially with self, right? It's all about fairness, loyalty, reciprocity. So now that you have all this clarity about stuff and you're seeing things very clear, now you're starting to see who really values you, right? And who does not. And that's big, right? Especially in places and spaces that you may have felt love for certain type of people, places, and things, right? And now it's like you can't unsee. Like once you see, you can't unsee type of stuff, right? So now it's all about the balancing of this type of energy, right? And it's not illusion. This is clarity, right? Clarity sings, right? And I gotta get the other phone. No matter how early I tried to do this before even 9 a.m. we're calls, right? Either way, so where was I? It's about the valuing, right? It's like really, that's what we're talking about, the value, right? Who values you and who does not, right? And so balancing that kind of act, right? For yourself, right? Because you value you now, or that's growing your value meal, right? Or just understanding that better, right? Because let's not forget that if you watch my previous video, Uranus, right? That's the undercurrent happening right now, right? And because it's this undercurrent, it's in the background of all of this. Uranus is the great awakener, right? And so we're already beginning to shift, and that's already beginning to shift us in this new era, right? So while Scorpio is doing inner transformation, right? And Uranus is saying undercurrent, right? Your outer reality is going to change too, right? As within exudes on out. That's what it's really all about, right? Your nothing ever stays the same. So you're evolving in motion, right? Taking conscious action, not just being reactive and explosive, right? And with that, even in this state of like truth, it's emotional, right? Scorpio is a water sign, right? So this full moon can feel like everything is coming up all at once, right? Good, bad, ugly, all of it, right? Because it is emotional truth. This is subconscious material rising to the surface. This is you seeing the clearest you've ever seen, especially for anything that you have avoided or brushed under the carpet. You know what I mean? And the biggest challenge here is reaction versus power, right? So this is where your power lies, right? It's not in reacting. It's not in controlling. It is not in forcing things, right? It's in observing what is being revealed and choosing for yourself differently and hopefully wisely too, right? So it's about sitting with what comes up and not running from it either, right? Not suppressing it and asking yourself, what is this showing me? What is this teaching me? Where am I holding on out of fear, right? And what truth have I been avoiding? And how can I infuse this all and act in accordance to my divine becoming, right? So, for example, like this can show up in instances of like even in your career and the choices and the changes that you need to make to embody that which you desire to be, right? In whatever field that is, right? Or realizing too, certain relationship dynamics that are not aligned with you, right? And feeling emotionally maybe triggered, right? By recognizing the deeper roots that want to be released, right? So have compassion and empathy and love for yourself. Be kind to you, right? Because, you know, deeper roots that want to be released are always, a lot of the times, going to be met with resistance, right? Right? It's never easy seeing patterns that you repeat over and over, right? And then finally deciding to choose differently for yourself, right? Habits die hard. Like, it means, right? Like, old habits die hard. That's the quote, right? Old habits die hard. And that's, you know, like, it's like what that's saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. BS, that's bukaka, right? You can choose differently for yourself, right? It's all about the release, right? So this full moons, new moons, every moon, every day is a new time too. It's a powerful time to release, right? Write it down too. Write down what you're ready to let go of, right? Write it all down. You're a lefty like me. Write it all down, right? And then safely burn it, right? Let that be your symbolization. Let that be your budget. It's a word, right? The symbolization of transformation, right? Right? We make up words up in here. That's right. Writer can be anything you want it to be. Whoever said there was a cap on the dictionary? I mean, come on now. We got new feelings up in here, right? So we got to write new words to express those things, my dear, right? So either way, let me not get into my babbling space because I do have a lot of things to do and I gotta get ready too, right? So either way, this is a great time to release, right? To declutter, right? To reflect, to enjoy, right? To what was I gonna say? To enjoy. It's too early. But anyway, right? Because if you, understanding, overstanding, because your outer world mirrors your inner world, and really grasping that, right? So yeah, and what you release too physically supports what you release energetically, as within exudes on out, right? So anyway, I feel like I really pretty much covered everything, even though I didn't speak elementally, because I feel like with Scorpio, the waters, Aries, the stelliums, and the fires, and just the grounding part of it in earth, right? We also have ether, which, you know, is so important. So because it's all happening in the unseen, right? The field, this energy, right? The space where internal shifts change your external reality. So you are not just reacting to life, you are co-creating, right? And I don't even like that. I don't even like co-creating, even though you are, but you're creating, right? You're not co-creating anything. That's like being on autopilot, kind of. Like, no, you're the pilot, right? So either way, this full moon is not here to break you. It's open, right? It's here to reveal, right? To show you your power, right? But through truth, through awareness, through transformation, right? And be open to that. Be open to. I'm willing to see the truth within myself, even when it feels uncomfortable. And I release what no longer aligns with who I am, right? I trust in this becoming. I trust the transformation taking place within me. And I honor my emotions without being controlled by them. I reclaim and claim my power with awareness. And I'm always free to choose better for myself each and every single day, right? The wound is the place where the light enters you. I love you, me. I do, right? So that's what I have for you. Until next time, bye.
I sit by myself, talking to the moon.